On the 19th and 20th, the ships arrived in Lingayen Bay, so we were being invaded. But now we are standing out there about 15 or 20 hours, and we looked at each other and we said, you know, we're at war. And that was really touched me. And I had problems coming from a Christian family of even thinking about killing anybody. And I thought, boy, this is going to be tough, because even though we're ordnance, we probably would be faced with that. And when we were told that there was close to 100,000, they estimated 100,000 troops, Japanese troops, that it would be, we would have a rough time. I was carrying a BAR, and I was trying to find some of my men to get them and round them up and so forth, and take them, get them out of there. And a Jap jumped out of the bushes and lunged at me with his bayonet. His bayonet caught where the strap, the shoulder strap of the BAR, and the latch to the stock. It hit that little clip, and with the force that he had, pulled it out of my hand. And he's right by the side of me. So I grabbed him and pulled him to me, and I took my hunting knife and I stuck it in him and stuck it all the way through him and a little bit into me. And in other words, and I didn't know, and it went evidently right below his rib cage, but anyway, and that was a hunting knife with a pretty good sized blade. And so I thought, my best thought is I don't know where I killed him or not, so I'll just drag him over here to the bluff and throw him off the bluff. And the way I threw him off, it was about 500 foot, so I drug him over and threw him off that bluff. We would hear Tokyo Rose telling us no reinforcements were on the way. And we would hear the Voice of America station at Corregidor telling us that there were reinforcements coming. We then, with a few men that we had left that were able to fight and all, and the 31st Infantry, we took that time to sort of get ourselves together and plan what we was going to do. So we held them another 2 months. We had heard some trucks and tanks, and as we got down to the road, we would have to go down to Marvelis airstrip where we were supposed to report to. The tank came on up behind us, and behind that tank was some more soldiers with some other prisoners. And we marched down, and this was getting late in the afternoon, to the Marvelis runway, where they had them all lined up there, and we lined up and spaced out like hand to hand. We stood there, and they looked at everything we had, and they took whatever they wanted, took watches, and they took all kinds of things. And they took our canteens and poured the water out and gave us the canteen back. And then we saw some guys that had some things were Japanese, and they just took them and pulled them out back, and you could hear them shooting them out back. And so we started a march, and it was late in the afternoon, sort of late. It wasn't sundown yet, it was getting late. And we marched that night, and the next morning it got over, and we were just coming out of the mountains, and the picture that was taken by the Japanese was taken that morning. We were devastated. And here we realized that we had been captured, and we realized that these people were beating and killing people. Everything that we get now, we've got to be strong to sustain life. And as we walked down that hill, it was sad times for us. And we looked over at our flagpole, where our American flag was flying, had been all the time when we go out there. And there was a Japanese flag flying. And I'm telling you, that was sinking time, hard times for me. I thought about home. I thought about everything and the possibility that could happen to me. Not knowing where we were going, the uncertainty and everything. It was really tough.